Hello, I'm going to talk about newsfeed, a relatively common system design interview question. So let's jump into it. Topics I'm going to cover is clarifying questions and requirements, high-level components, and then talk about some parts of the system like aggregator, leaf tailor, post storage and timeline, post ranking and suggestions. So clarifying questions, who does make the posts as the individual users, pages or other entities? We'll probably assume users. What defines which posts are seen to you? The notion of friends, followers, etc. Do we pick from all posts on the platform? We'll probably have followers and mutual followers for this one. What kind of content do we support? Text, photos, videos, or others? Let's say we support text, photos, and videos. And shall we show all applicable posts in chronological order? Have some ranking. Ranking is usually a good idea because just all the posts may be interactable, and then sometimes quality of the posts may not be as good. So usually ranking proves to be a good choice for news feeds. And then should there already be shown some posts in the same locations as before, aka some preservation of history? So ideally, yes, we need to have some cache for consistency, but sometimes if person didn't log in for a long time, we may just refresh a feed completely. We cannot store a full history, and there can be just too many things to store. Let's look at high-level components. We'll have user going through load balancer and API gateway. It's pretty much standard for a web app. We'll have a timeline service and PostDB. Timeline service manages updates and reads for the posts. PostDB stores the posts, but also timeline service publishes update to the message queue, which can be used by multiple services like Tailor, which I will go over in a bit. And there is newsfeed service, which also publishes updates to message queue, like likes or reactions in general, comments, etc. And then for PostDB, there would be some sort of scraping where we would take periodic snapshots and use those snapshots for the Leaf service. Leaf service is going to store some indexes of, for example, graphs from some person who has some connection to the post itself, to the post ID, sharded by post ID. Tailor would process updates and make sure they're real time. So it's a combination of when we read from a snapshot, we get slightly old data, but snapshots are efficient to make. So we don't need to restore from the from all the updates. Just can get some final states. And then aggregator takes care of the ranking based on the leaf data. It ranks with some pretty sophisticated models, but only a limited set of candidates based on what leaves has returned. Let's talk more about this. So aggregator is it's a CPU or GPU intensive service. In modern days, it's likely gonna be GPU. And because ranking is expensive, we cannot do it for a big number of candidates and suggestions. That's why we have leaves, which is memory intensive service, which stores the graphs of connections and does some initial simple ranking. Maybe based on some recency of connections, a number of connections. I'll go over the details a bit later. Tailor is a small service that processes real-time updates from the message queue and updates leaves indexes with them. That's basics of this architecture. It's gonna be used commonly for various kinds of ranking. I even have a separate video on that. Check it out in the playlist. For the post storage and timeline, post storage should be durable and highly available. Thus, relational database is a good choice for this. We don't want to just randomly lose people posts. However, for example, for leaves, it doesn't have to be like that. There's probably going to be some in-memory storage, but that's why we create indexes from the snapshots. So we have a service to process posts and publish updates to the message queue, and they're eventually going to be picked up by a ranking system and maybe for some analytics if we need them. And also the service can be used to fetch users' timeline, where they can see their posts in chronological order. The post storage data can be also scraped by some job on a regular basis, or maybe we just like use regular snapshots. And they can be loaded into leaves when they start, and then like leaves usually like load data from the snapshot, and then like queries real-time updates from certain time of the snapshot. And speaking of ranking, yeah, we're gonna use this aggregator leaf tailor. Leaf would store edges of people connected to posts in some way, including creation, reactions, comments, shares, etc. We can compute some features based on number of connections and their recency, for example. So the more likes or like suggestions are like, maybe if you like specifically several of your like connections liked specific post, then you're probably also like more likely to like it. Tailor would process updates about posts made and potentially some reactions to them, comments, etc. But it doesn't have to recreate a real-time state of indexes perfectly. It just needs to like boost the quality of ranking. So like if you miss certain updates, it's not the end of the world. You can actually just do ranking even with like daily snapshots, for example. It's just like not gonna be as precise and gonna be delayed. So that's why real-time updates are usually pretty powerful. It can boost the ranking quality and like user satisfaction quite a lot. Because imagine like you just get some post you kind of want to know like as soon as possible usually, and you don't want to wait for like a whole day for it to like appear. Yeah, so that's gonna be like some basics for the newsfeed. You can go into more details, like how do you construct features, how do you use models, which models to use. If it's like more like a machine learning interview, it's probably gonna be more focused on the like models and features and feature engineering. Typically, like for example, some features that I use is some like related to connections, some are related to like users, and some are related to posts themselves. And we just have like a big vector of features and like run some model on it and get some score. How likely you are, like for example, click on this post or like it, or comment on it, or just like engage with it in general. So yeah, you can talk a bit more about like this aggregator leaf tailor architecture and which storages you can use, like do some estimates of capacity needed if you ask like refined questions about like how many posts we have and like how many interactions we get on like average. Yeah, so there are like various places so you can go like deeper than this into like some specific areas. Usually pick some areas you know about and like dive into it. Don't pick an area you're not very comfortable with. All right, thanks for watching.